Listen up. Be you. You got this. I said it before, and I'll say it again. Keto, rock stars, stay strong. Be you. Bacon, beef, butter. Keto rock stars. Keto rock stars. Keto rock stars. Keto on, stay strong. Be you. Keto rock stars.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to tonight's episode of Sunday Night Live on Keto Rockstars. And boy, do I have a treat for you tonight. We've got Dan from Lions Danivore Podcast. Welcome, Dan. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
So pumped. I am a huge fan of yours. Been following
What?
you. I'm like, whoa, I love the energy. I love the passion. And that's exactly what we need in this community, you know? So, and the realism, that's the whole beauty of this entire community, that we're all so genuine and we're authentic and we're ready to speak truth. Let's spit some fire. Let's do it.
Absolutely. All right. So, first of all, we are streaming on my channel, Dan's channel. We are streaming on Facebook. We're on Dan's X, and we're on my Rumble. So we're all over the place tonight. So hopefully we can light this world on fire. So I'm really excited about that. But let's say hi to a few people. We got Rick Charger Mopars in the house. Uncle Charlie is here. Welcome, Uncle Charlie. My awesome, beautiful friend Evelyn is here. Welcome, welcome. Granny Boo's in the house. Sandy Blythe's in the house. Angel Duster, welcome, welcome. Thomas Target Prime Rib is here. My good friend Carrie is here. Thank you for joining, Carrie. Michael's Adventures is here. Welcome, Michael. Lynn, 22Q Cat. She's here. She's there. She's everywhere. Tammy's in the house. Welcome, Tammy. Let's see. We got Rick. Twinbrook Acres is here. Holly Springer's in the house. Welcome, Holly. Brian Dish is here. Hi, Brian. Let's see. Schmoovie, my neighbor in South Bend, Indiana. Welcome, Schmoovie. Ivy Weena is here. Welcome, Ivy. Paul Salvatera is here. Welcome, Paul. Hi, hi, hi. Sharon Esterson is watching on Facebook. Welcome, welcome. Let's see.
Love the
Who
crowd.
else? Cass, Carnivore Farm Mom, is in the house. Welcome, Cass. Good to see you. Aaron Booby Goats is here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Coach Angela Mullins in the house. Welcome, Coach. Kelly, Mission Carnivore is here. Let's see. Who else is in the house? Who did I
Kelly.
miss?
Kelly's here. Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Kelly.
Kelly. Jiffy Strange Animal. Welcome. Oh, and Lions Danivore Podcast is here. Okay. Okay. I always have to tell Carrie's joke because he's so funny. How do lions greet each other? With a roarsome hug. That is funny. Jerry's in the house. Welcome, Jerry. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see. And Carrie also says, I don't always tell lion puns, but when they do, they're so. Lizzie, I think through the list. Oh, did we lose Dan? Hold on.
Uh-oh. Am I moving? Hi,
You there,
everybody.
Dan?
Yeah, I'm here.
You there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hello.
Hello. Uh-oh. Let me go back. Let me go out and come back in.
Okay. Can you? Okay. All right, hold on. It is like. All right, Dan should be back momentarily. Come back, Dan. Checking my internet here. Dan's going to pop out and come back. Terry Bradburn is watching. Hi, Terry, over on Facebook. And Granny Boo is in the house. Okay, he's back. He's back. He's back. Okay. You are moving now. It might have been me. I'm trying to do a speed test on my internet. I don't know what's going on. So anyway, so you have quite a story. And I'd like to have you tell. I know you told this last week on Butter Bob. It was amazing, but I'm sure we'll get into other things here tonight too. But tell us. So how did you're carnivore, right? You're full blown strict carnivore. What happened? What brought you to live this lifestyle? Tell us about your experience.
So I've always been like a yo-yo dieter, right? And working out was very big for me, especially being young. And my role model was my older brother, Joe, right? I have 4 brothers, right? And he's the third one, right? And he was always into bodybuilding and whatnot. So even at 8 years old, I would watch my brother and I would try to mimic that. Then I guess I found food and I started eating more than I should have. And then I went to high school and I started playing football. And they kept saying, wow, you look amazing. You look big. Right. And I'm like, okay, that's great. And I thought looking good was synonymous of being muscular, just big type of. So there was something back in the day that's making its comeback now. It's called creatine. And I think right now, creatine is it's a great way of developing, mind-wise and whatnot. But back then, not a lot of people knew about it. So you would overdose on it. And what I mean by overdose is, especially meatheads, how I was, right? I would take so much creatine and I would inflate and I would work out and whatnot. And then when I started working in a restaurant at 16, one person had said to me, be careful with that because they don't know the long-term side effects. So I said, okay, fine. So I let go of it and I deflated, Amy, deflated. I couldn't work out. I couldn't push the same. And at 16, I felt something called depression. And I'm like, this is so crazy. So now I learned what dependency was. I needed to go back on creatine, but I had this foghead. I know I'm in the minority with creatine. When I used to take it, I couldn't focus. I was just very hazy. I started taking it again. I got everything back, but my test scores were low. It wasn't good. So I completely dropped it. I'm like, you know what? I'd rather go natural. And the thing is, I started eating a lot and I ballooned from 180. It was the last time, when I was 17, it was the last time I said, bye-bye 180. It was done. The goal was to get to 200 pounds. And I got to 200, went to college, and a whole bunch of stuff happened. Graduated, pulled my back, my knees, 200 turned into 210, 215, 225, 230. Then I'm like, all right, enough is enough. What's this? Keto? Cool. I went down to 215, then 210. I'm like, oh, this is great. Then I'm like, you know what? Let me have an apple. I back up to 230, 235 because of that apple. I'm like, this is crazy. An apple. It's supposed to be healthy, but to me, it was a gateway, right? It was it opened these portals to cookies and cake and Taco Bell, White Castle, beef patties, right? It was a high. All right. So now fast forward even that much more. The following year, 2 years later, I go back on keto and it would just be going like this. So now I understood my pattern. My pattern was from January to September, I would lose weight. The lowest I would go would be probably 208. And then from September onward, when these horrendous players of the New York Jets would play, my weight would go up. And I would go to like 235. And every year was getting worse. So I started logging. And I'm like, man, when is enough enough? But there was such a control over me that I couldn't shake free. I couldn't, Amy. I couldn't. So now something happened to me in 2024. And I think many of us, and it's horrible that we have to get to this point. We have to get to a health scare where
Uh-huh.
you just throw every excuse out the window. This whole entire narrative of which I was eating was, you know what? I can't really break free because the food is in the house. It's in the house. I have two beautiful daughters, my queen. How can I inhibit them from eating what they want to? So you know what I did? I kid you not. I bought a treasure chest with a lock. And I said, throw all of your stuff in there. I'm going to lock it. I'll give you the keys, hun. I can't open this. The addiction was so bad that I broke that thing and I had to go in. I had to go
You
in.
broke the lock?
There was no gold in there. Fool's gold. Yes, there was. So I kept eating. And then late 2024 happened. Not to get graphic, which I will not. I went to the bathroom and there was blood in my stool. And I'm like, what is this? This is not good. I told my wife. My wife's like, you got to see a GI doctor. I'm like, okay, no problem. So here I'm scrambling and I call the first one that told me that they would see me stat right now. And I went 4 hours later, just waiting, pacing. I get called into the office and the GI doctor said, we have to do a colonoscopy and an endoscopy. Plus, here is some probiotics. It's a sample, but you have to purchase it on eBay. Not eBay, Amazon. So I look and it was like $180. It was expensive. It was very pricey. But when patients are in that position where nothing's going to compromise their health, not even money, and you're like, all right, purchase button, it wasn't even add to cart. It was purchase now. And I said to him, I said, all right, so are you going to check me? He said, no, there's no reason to check you. We have to just do a colonoscopy. I'm like, what if it's topical? What's going on? He said, no. Trust me, we have to do the colonoscopy. We'll do it in about 4 or 5 weeks. So I left there. It was rainy. It was nasty outside, like that misty late summer. It's very humid. I went into the car and he said, you have to go get some blood work. I said, okay. So I drove. When I went there, the door was locked. And I said, all right, this is not cool. And there was a pizzeria across the street. You would think that I would have learned my lesson. But when your microbiome is so bad, those little germs, that bacteria really has a direct phone line to your brain and it controls you. Kind of like the little mouse from Ratatouille, just pulling on your hair and knowing you can't do anything. It just does what it wants to. Was it Remy? That was his name? Remy? Anyway.
I think so. No,
so
you're good.
I went to the pizzeria. I had 2 slices of pizza, a spinach roll, a grape soda. And then I went back in and I had something else. And it wasn't even like breaking through until I went into the car and I'm driving home. And the first vision that I had was my brother Joe telling me, hey, I lost all this weight. I feel amazing. I have no brain fog. I'm doing puzzles. Like I've never done puzzles before. And I have my life back. And he was telling me this for like a good 2 to 3 months already, even during my knee operation. It's the only thing that came to my head. And I'm like, man, my wife deserves so much more. My kids deserve better than this. All right, you know what? I have 4 weeks until this procedure of the endoscopy and the colonoscopy. Let's do it. Let's try it. It's going to be tough, but let's do it. So the following day when I started, I just had, I think it was either a ribeye or a New York strip. And I waited the entire day. I went to work and the whole day I fasted and I was having withdrawals, but I'm like, I have to do this. I have to do this for my family. I just ate that, went to bed. My wife, the following day, she's like, you didn't snore. I'm like, are you okay? I never even knew that I did snore. She's like, yeah, you slept through the whole night. Normally I'm one of those 3 a.m. waker uppers. Though that week I started getting, I don't know how it felt like I was breaking free. Like 2 weeks into it, I started understanding my decisions, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Brain fog was gone. I had something that I never had before, and that was control, right? In thinking. I'm looking at the cookies and the cereal, and I'm like, no, I don't need that. I don't need it. Vegetables, fruits, no, I don't want it. Then the 4th week occurred. It was the day before the procedure. And I did the whole thing, Amy, everything. I did
the prep,
the whole prep. But again, everyone that I talked to, the prep is different. This was my prep, the entire bottle of Miralax with a funnel on a 1 gallon of water, the whole thing, the whole powder in there. I'm like, is this safe? And they're like, yeah, just shake it and just drink it every 15 minutes. Drink the whole thing. I felt like a backwards statue of David, right? Like I was just leaking. I was just there. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that's okay. There's nothing left. I'm dry. Kept going. Anyway, but the following morning, I made a decision, and I said to my wife, hon, I don't think this is a good idea. I feel like I have control. The bleeding stopped already for 2 weeks. I feel like I'm healing. My wife is like, don't worry. If that's what your gut instinct is, I'm with you every step of the way. And I value her so much. So I call the hospital. I denied the procedure, and they're like, no worries. It's okay. Just call the office. When I call the office, it was so interesting because, you would think that there would be some empathy, like, hey, look, it's your decision. The receptionist, out of all people, she said, you can't do that. No, you can't cancel. There's a lot of people depending on you. You can't do that. I said, I just did. I'm not, wait a minute. Why would you treat patients like this? Now, what do I have this guilt that I'm making the wrong decision? Because you are. Oh, whoa. How do you know that I am? You don't know me since that first interaction. Plus, again, not to demean her or anything, but you're not in the healthcare practice. So, I felt alleviated though, but I knew how to handle that situation. It didn't escalate. It was everything that I needed to know. You made the right choice. You had your 6th sense awaken. And that's what I don't want to lose, Amy. I don't want to lose that ability to think outside of the box and critically think. I haven't touched a vegetable. I haven't touched a fruit. I did full lion when I did this whole thing. I'm carnivore now. I started implementing, bacon and eggs and whatnot. That's cool. That's the whole beauty of this. Knowing what are your triggers. So last year we did Disney. We went to Disney, and I was as disciplined as possible. I had so much energy, so much, from 6 a.m. to 12 midnight. It was nonstop. it was funny because my wife was like, "Hey, before the trip, it's going to be a lot of walking, right?" And I wasn't going to be combative. I was like, "Yes, I understand that, and I think I'm ready. I'm going to do this." I'm not a roller coaster person. Let me tell you, I went on every roller coaster with my daughter, every one of them. That Guardians of the Galaxy, that is an out of body experience. I don't wish that on anyone, but I went on it. And if my little one wants to go on it again, I will go on it. No worries. I had no fear, nothing. I used to hate flying. I hated going onto an airplane. I never liked traveling. We're going to Italy and France in August. I love it. I can't wait.
Oh my God.
Last year we did an East Coast trip. I brought my little C3PO, my air fryer, and my frozen ribeyes or ground meat, whatever, and I would just cook in the hotel. Thankfully, no fire alarms went out. That's okay, but it was that discipline that I don't want to go back. I'm not out of the woods yet because it's constant. That demon always wants to rear its ugly head back. And I'm like, nope, I gotta stay on this. It feels very much like a Navy SEAL where you're on a mission, you cannot deviate. You have to complete this. If you don't, the mission fails. That's my story.
Wow. So, wow. Let me say hi to a few people because there's a lot to unpack there. So let's say hi to Gary Noslow's in the house. Donna Ray Bacon Runner's here. Sandy's in the house. Cheryl Perkins is another one of my neighbors. She's watching over on Facebook. Peter, Papa Carnivore, is in the house, or Pretzel Pete, as we know him now. And Follow the Bradley Fun is in the house. Welcome, welcome.
Nice.
Carnivore Lance is here. Welcome, Lance. Jackie, the realtor, is also my neighbor. Welcome, welcome. And Dustin, Keto Simple, is here.
Love
Welcome,
Dustin.
welcome. Okay, so I feel like for some of us, like you and me, we have to hit like kind of what we call a rock bottom, right? Before something because I was on like a diet roller coaster too, and then at one point I got to be almost like 270, 280. I don't know, how tall are you?
I am 5'10".
Okay, we're about the same height. I'm just slightly shorter than you. I'm at 175 now. I got down to 148. So that's the thinnest of it. And that was like within pounds of high school. But I was doing a lot of weird stuff. I was doing protein sparing modified fasting, which is pretty much high protein, low fat carnivore. And I don't feel bad about gaining some of the weight back because I've been dealing with thyroid issues. I've been dealing with the thing 50-year-old women deal with, which is menopause that men don't want to hear about. So I'm not going to talk about that, but it's a real thing for women. And honestly, for men, as you guys age, you could have issues with testosterone that can prevent, weight loss from happening. And whether you're a man or a woman, things can happen as you age. But back to the rock bottom thing. And for some people, the rock bottom doesn't even do it, right?
Yep.
Like my sister-in-law died of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease because she had uncontrolled type 2 diabetes, and she would go to the hospital, and the minute she'd go out, she'd go shopping for cookies. So you understand, you had that same, would you call it addiction? Would you call it food addiction? Do you believe in food addiction? Some people said there's no such. Me
a
too.
million percent.
Me too.
That and it was a food disorder. It was a food disorder because when I see my wife eat, she has the same portion that I have, and she gets to a certain point where she's done. I'm like, there's still food on your plate. And she's like, yeah, I'm full. I'm good. And I'm like, yeah, but, and then I found myself eating. She has a food in order. She's okay. She knows she has a good linkage. She doesn't even think about it. That's the crazy part. She knows when, okay, I'm done. Her whole family's like that. They don't binge. Like when we have Christmas together, there's cake, donut, food, plethora. All they do is get a little bit, taste a little bit, and that's it. But me, the Tasmanian devil, I would eat the whole thing. I'm like, oh, more for me. There was no control. It to me was a disorder, which it was, and it is absolutely a food addiction, and that's the sugar that they pump in this country in so many nations as well, on purpose.
Okay, so you've been strict carnivore for 2 years. Are you going on
This
2 years now? 24 to 26?
Yeah, in October it's going to be 2 years. 2 years it's going to be, and I'm ecstatic. Really good. Yeah.
That's awesome. I've been carnivore I've been keto since 2018, right? And I was real successful on keto. Like, I can't cheat. I'm probably a Lion Diet candidate. The reason why I say that is if I accidentally have a spice that's got gluten in it, I can't walk for 2 weeks. I can't get up and down my stairs. Joint pain all over the place. I even think sometimes for meat, like ground beef, I think from eggs, sometimes I feel like I get inflammation even from meat, like maybe the aged meats, like histamines or something. I think I'm one of those people, right? That probably should be strict Lion Diet, but my pocketbook says,
it's pricey.
So I was strict keto. I really couldn't cheat on that, right? I mean, I really couldn't cheat on keto and go like I did one time, and I tell the story a lot, but I couldn't. So I was pretty clean keto. Every once in a while, a keto treat or product would slip in there, but it wasn't like all the time. So, but then this last summer in July, that's when the thyroid symptoms started, and I'm like, why isn't this working anymore? Kind of thing. Like I felt paralyzed. I couldn't get out of bed. There was so much brain fog, and that's when, like, okay, what's the next logical step? It's carnivore, because I'm not going vegan or anything like that, but I got to stay on a whole food diet. But so that's when I went carnivore, and I've been carnivore for 10 months. I feel amazing. I've gained about 20 pounds back, but here's where I'm getting at. I still have that. I eat my whole plate of food, and I'm talking, people are like, you're not eating enough. I'm like, how is like a ribeye, 4 eggs, a half a pound of bacon? Like, I mean, that's a lot of food for a girl to eat. And I can get every bite, and then I'm like, I'm still hungry. I'm like, I should not be hungry after eating a whole plate of meat, eggs, and butter and bacon, right? I should not be hungry. So, and I know Carnivore Lance has talked about this before. Is there a point, like, because I feel like you and I are alike, like we could just eat and eat and eat and eat. Do you feel satiated on carnivore? Do you have that problem anymore? Or do you legit get full at a certain point and then you're not hungry 5 minutes later?
That is a great question. So I do get satiated rather quickly, right? And it's, to me, that's why the Lion Diet was a game changer for me, right? So I used to eat so much. And when I have a fat, it has to be fatty. The higher the fat, the more satiated I become. And it doesn't have to be the actual animal fat. I can have like the Kerrygold butter. And I'm eating it like sliced cheese. And my family's like repulsed. They're repulsed. I'm like, yum, yum, yum. This is so good.
I do know, yeah.
So that satiates me. But I do have my moments, right? Like if I'm home, yes, I'll eat probably 3 times a day. And that's not me. I normally eat once a day and that's it. That's why I love my job. Like I leave, I'm never hungry in the morning. I'm not a breakfast guy, never was. I work the entire day. Like the energy that you see here is the same energy that I had 5 a.m. Like it's constant. There's no dip. When I get home, I'll have, again, a New York strip or chuck roast, whatever the case is, something fatty, and I'm good and I'm okay. Now, sometimes maybe I'll be on the couch and I'll cook some eggs, just something to nibble on if I want to, but it's not to that point where I get to a nauseous state, if that's even allowed at this point. Like I eat, like I ate about 2 hours ago, 2 or 3, or I don't even know. I know it was more than, it was like, it must have been like 3 o'clock that I ate. I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry. I'm good. Like I don't have that in me. What I realize is I gotta keep busy, Amy. I gotta keep busy because I know me. I know what you and I have in common, that if I'm idling here, I'm going to eat. I'm going to go upstairs, and the food that I have for tomorrow, I'm going to be like, all right, you know what? But it's not the same as it was with the addiction. It was
Right.
like, all right, just something to like, to kill time. But now I noticed that I had so much energy. I started working out more. When I started the Lion Diet, I had no motivation of working out. That wasn't even in my head. But 3 months into it, I had such a plethora of energy. I'm like, I gotta somehow exhaust this. So, I have a little gym machine here, and that's exactly what I do. I do my thing. And when I'm here at home, I'm like, I got to do something. If not, I'm giving space to what I gave my body as an exodus. Like I left a certain portion of that life to change, because that's what we need in life, right? In order to excel, we have to change, and we have to accept change. If not, life just passes us by, and we're stuck in the past. I feel that carnivore has helped me to understand my past, learn from it, move forward, and evolve as a person, right? There's certain things that I didn't like doing. Now I love doing. So mowing the lawn, seeding, going for a walk, owning a dog. Like Amy, I was never a dog person. My wife for the past 20 years, she's like, can we have a dog? Can we? I'm like, no, no way. That little guy is my best friend. Like we eat steak every night. Like he has me in headlocks. Like we're enjoying each other. And I'm enjoying this trajectory of what life has. And I've said it before in other podcasts, including my own. I'm Christian. And what I've noticed is that sixth sense that I was talking about, that is the connection that I have now in prayer, in reading biblical scriptures, in allowing my heart to be open and understanding other people. That to me is one of the biggest things in life, is, for instance, understanding my wife, hearing about her. You alluded to earlier about menopause. I'm open. I want to know about that, because what my wife is going through, I want to go through it as well and help her and read books upon it and be like, look, you're feeling this way most likely because of this, X, Y, and Z, as opposed to having my partner go through a journey on her own. That's not biblical. We're two in one. We're one body right now. We love each other like one. So what can I do to help her? What can she do to help me? But it's not only just the help, it's evolving. It's elevating your person. And, I got to be honest. I love these challenges. I love that I'm still questioning myself and saying, all right, hold on a second. Why am I eating? Like I'll ask myself, do I need to eat this ribeye? I just ate. Do I need to make a burger? Why do I need this? And being in this fog-free state of mind, I answer these questions, and it becomes spiritual. It really does. I start praying. God help me. I don't have that strength. I don't have it. But you help me through this process, this eating high fat meats where the doctors say if you continue eating this, you're going to get a heart attack. You got to eat lean meats. You got to eat high carbohydrates. You got to eat your grains. You got to eat a bowl of fruit throughout the seasons. If it's freezing outside, you still got to eat your bowl of fruit. Even though that strawberries don't grow in the middle of winter, you still have to have your bowl of strawberries. You have to, because you need it. Your body needs that vitamin C. You have to. Then on top of that, a cantaloupe, some greens, some this, some that. All right. I put all that in prayer many years ago. And the gorgeousness of it is God answers your prayers, but not the way you want it answered. He answers it his way. You may not like it. I didn't like it. I don't like sometimes how he does it. But in the grand scheme of things, there was no better plan. There was absolutely no better plan, because when I come out of that storm, I'm a different person and I hold myself accountable. And I'm like, you know what?
That's awesome.
I'm like, God, thank you for the goodness and the trials, because you're with me no matter what. So I'm stoked about life. If you haven't realized it yet, I'm really stoked about life.
You're very energetic. I love that. I can only imagine you probably weren't so energetic when you were going through all of what you went through before you became carnivore. Were you sluggish? You said brain fog, which that's pretty much what made me want to go to carnivores, because I'm like, well, I'm keto. I'm eating pretty healthy. Why do I feel like crap? Why am I starting to feel like crap? And Dustin asked a good question here. He's like, I want to know what to expect with menopause. Well, Dustin, every woman is different. Mine, I think, was mostly brain fog, exhaustion. I'm having joint pain, so joint pain could be a part of it. The worst is hot flashes. I'm telling you, when you're in a room full of people and you just want to take all your clothes off, but you can't because you're in a room full of people. I'm just going to say.
Yeah.
And then everyone, like, you guys have seen me. I'll have a sweatshirt on in the middle of winter and it's like 5 degrees outside because I live in northern Indiana, which is like Buffalo, New York, essentially. We get blizzard all year round. And so, like, you guys see me taking my clothes off, and then Evelyn posts, Amy's having a hot flash again. She gets it. So it could be a bunch of different things, Dustin. And my mom never had any symptoms. I hate her for that, but she never went through anything. She was like, I don't know what you're talking about because I never had this, you know. My little Italian mom, which, by the way, you're Italian too. I have to ask you, Northern Italy or Southern Italy? Where are your peeps from?
Both. And it was not fun growing up. My mom was from Naples. My dad's from Sicily. You want to talk about a civil war? It was always fun. No need to go to Broadway.
We're Northern. My family's from Piacenza, which is up by Milan. And my grandfather, who was 100% Italian, you could not mention Sicilians or like Southern. They do not like each other. There is like, they don't like each other. So like, I totally understand it. So your parents are both Italian.
They're both. And, I'm grateful for that. I'm 43 and going on 26 because that's how amazing I feel.
Right.
Both of my parents, they were born after World War II, right? So the upbringing, the generations of what they brought to the table, and like my oldest brother is 18 years older than me, right? So they're different. There's a lot of, different experiences, different ways of how to handle things. Like with me, I overanalyze. And before I say something, I think about it. My brother thinks very outside the box. And my brothers are like that. They think very much outside the box. And sometimes they have things very clearly. And sometimes it's very combative. because
Mhm.
it's very, very dry. This is how it is. That's it. No holds barred. You want to have a conversation, we're going to butt heads. But I like that because it made me into the person that I am right now, right? Trying to be well-rounded, understanding. And my parents from that era, they're two different individuals. You have a Sicilian side that they are strict. My dad was there was no laughing matters. It was just very, this is how life is. Put it this way, the birds and the bees, I was teaching the birds and the bees the stories, like probably at 8 years old or 9, like, because everything was open. My mom, though, was the glue of the home. That loving kindness of northern Italy, right? Of you know,
Mhm.
the Napolitan side. And that's why I always give thanks to God for that, for my parents, for my brothers, that there's different, like my first brother says, there's different seasonings. And we all get to share each other's point of views. So like my oldest brother would tell me at the height of the worst of my life, right? Where I was close to 250 pounds, just cut out sugar. I'm like, it's not that simple. Yes, it is. No, it's not. It is. So we're going back and forth. And now I'm getting heated. And there's vernaculars that are coming out of my inner soul that should not, but it's coming out. Now, though, now I think. Now I'm like, wait a minute. There's a jargon right now that's being spewed out, and I get it. These are baits. And I'm not just talking about my brother who I love so much, just in life in general, whether it be politics, religion, or whatever the case is. There's certain bait where when you're in this lifestyle, you can pick up right away. Not wasting my time. Nope, not going to do it. Just keep going. Just keep moving along. Don't give the pessimism side of life the time or day. Just keep moving. And what you were asking before, which I find interesting because that's the first time I was ever asked that question, my mood and how my energy was before this. I have to be honest, and I've never been addicted to drugs, but it has to be similar. I felt like a drug addict. I had to get to this level of bliss every single day. I would leave work, I would go to the deli, I would, I don't know, get probably a hero all lathered in mayonnaise and then eat it while I'm parked 10 blocks away, get in the car, my eyes are rolling back. I have to like shake myself, keep going, go to a pizzeria, get 2 slices just to get that high again, be drinking soda. Then I would pull up to the garage and I'm just like falling asleep. I have to wake up, go into the house, agitated, PO'd for no reason, none. My wife would have a home cooked meal. I would eat it. I would hop on the couch, watch the same reruns of Seinfeld, which I love, but I kind of, forget it.
I love Seinfeld.
Oh my God. It's the best.
They call me Elaine. They call me Elaine on this channel. They say I look like Elaine, which whatever. So I made a little meme of myself but I love Seinfeld. I watch the reruns all the time still.
Same here, but not as much as I did before, right? Like I would be on the couch. I would wait for everyone to go to bed. And then I would go to the treasure chest and I would get bags of Cheetos, Ritz crackers with the cheese in there. Just nonstop. And then I would find myself dozing off. And then I would just like wake myself up, watch another episode, go back into the fridge, getting my hands on anything, chocolate, anything that was in the cupboard, Oreos, bring it to the couch, eat, milk, eat. And I would just feel so dejected. But that high while I was eating it was there. And then I would go to bed dead. Like I would be super sleepy. I would fall asleep for 2 hours. I would wake up.
Mm-hmm.
I would pace. And I would just shake a lot. My wife is like, you can't be doing this every night. This is not good for you. And I never said, mind your business or something, but that was what I was giving off. Like, you do you, I do me. And I know it wasn't me saying that. It was this, the microbiome. There's a biology going on here, and I kept doing that. And then the next day, Amy, it would repeat and again, repeat, rinse, over and over and over, nonstop. Right now, the same stuff is upstairs, but I don't blame them. I don't. I want to live the example. I don't want to use the excuse, it's in my house. I can't get away. This right here, this is my house. This is my temple. My body.
Yep.
I'm the gatekeeper. What comes in, what goes out. I do it. I allow it. I garrison this thing. And it's not only this, it's this. It's the mind. It's your mind. What you allow in. That's why I'm very careful with the expression. You have to. What's the expression? You have to be free-minded. Think open-minded. Open-minded.
Oh,
Yes, being open-minded. The more I thought about that saying, the more nefarious it is. Think about it for a second, right? If you're open-minded, that's the same as having your front door unhinged. Anything comes in. You're being open. Anything goes in. But I'd rather have a filtered mind. I'd rather have the door still hinged there. And I allow what I need to in, and what I don't, I close it. So I filtered my mind. And when I go upstairs and I see my kids eating something that kids eat, come on, we were kids, like, I'm not going to hold it against them. Oh, that's not good for you. That's not good. No, you want to eat that just in moderation, however you can. But thank goodness my daughters take after my wife, because they don't binge like I do. They're like, all right, I'm done, Dad. I'm done. I'm like, oh my goodness. And I compliment them.
So you got, is there 4 kids?
No,
You said daughters, and you said two
daughters.
You have 2 kids, 2 daughters. Oh, it's your brothers. You have 2 brothers. So 2 daughters.
Brothers. Four brothers.
Oh my gosh. Big family. Okay. So I have 2 older brothers and 2 older sisters too. So there's 5 of us.
Love it. Yeah.
So, oh my gosh. So, that's a lot. So I got to say hi to a few more people. Helix, Jonathan, and Bill. So you talked about a lot like this. Isn't it amazing how, and I never even could have fathomed this, because I didn't feel like I need, and John Together Strong dropped $5. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. And I want you all to go over right now and subscribe to Dan's channel. I have pinned it on my channel. If you're watching from his channel, you're already subscribed. But if you're on my channel, please, everybody, how many subscribers you have? Let's get him to 500. Let's get him to 500 so he can get super chats. Because we need to support everybody here. And but anyway, I got to go back to this, because you're talking about like things that used to bother us, right? And now there's this carnivore calm. Like there's this carnivore, like it's just like, okay, that's annoying, but whatever. When before we used to maybe fly off the handle and get really upset and like angry. And I think what you were describing, I feel that as well. Like I feel it. It's indescribable. You cannot describe this until you have experienced it. And I love my husband. He's not watching, but part of it was his job and he's retired now, but like this anger, like there would be just this anger and upsetness. And he had a lot of people on my channel know he had a recent illness that was pretty serious and could have been fatal. And so he couldn't eat vegetables anymore because the inside of his mouth was bleeding and ulcerated. And do you feel like eating like broccoli or cabbage when you have sores on the inside of your mouth? No. So I switched him over to meat and eggs only. And he does have cheese. I try to stay away from cheese, but he doesn't have a weight problem like I do. So I'm telling you, I've noticed a difference in his demeanor. He doesn't get agitated. I don't think he says it's because he's retired and he had a near-death experience. But those of us who know, right? That when you cut the additional like toxins in the plants and everything else, there's just this additional calm that comes over your brain. I can't explain it. I cannot. It's just, if anybody has any anxiety or anger or just frustration on a day-to-day basis, stop what you're doing and go carnivore straight away. Trust me. It sounds like it's restrictive. And we say this, we scream this to the rooftop, but it is the most freeing thing ever. Like, I am no longer making these complicated 3-hour keto recipes because that's what you got to do. Carnivore is the easiest way of eating I have ever. It's easier than standard American diet, because on standard American diet, unless you are eating out every day, which everybody knows that's not good for you. The Taco Bell, like you mentioned, or even the Chipotle and stuff like that. That's a cleaner options. But if you're not eating out, you're still making standard American diet recipes. But to chuck a couple frozen hamburger patties in the air fryer and scramble some eggs, it is legit 5 minutes. Like 5. I'm like, if I would have known this, I would have done this 8 years ago when I started keto. I would have done this 8 years ago, to just eat beef, butter, bacon, eggs, chicken, pork, whatever. It's that would have been like I would have done it 8 years ago if I knew how. And I feel so bad because I have so many friends. I have like 1,000 friends on Facebook, and I proclaim anywhere on the proper human diet spectrum to the rooftop, right? With the goal that everyone should really be carnivore, but I'm going to support people no matter which they do, because I was very successful on keto for a very long time. But I have so many friends who have, like you, have gastrointestinal issues. I have friends, a husband and a wife, and they both have SIBO. How do two people in the same household both have the same condition? It's got to be the food. It's got to be what they're eating. That they both, two people in the house, my husband and I don't suffer from the same things. Right. How do two people in the same household have the same gastrointestinal issue? And I just want to, I got to take a deep breath, because I'm like you, very passionate about this, but they're like, well, we've researched keto and carnivore and we just find it's too restrictive. And I'm like, I want to cry. It makes me want to cry. I'm like, it's not though. It's so amazing. And it's healed. So I want to ask you this question. It's healed so many things for me. What other things have gotten better? Did you have any other health conditions that have gotten better? Tell me those things.
My mental health improved drastically. My anxiety, which I thought I didn't have. I thought there were certain things that were just acceptable, and I didn't even realize that I was suffering from. I was suffering from depression. I was suffering from anxiety. And the reason why it became more clear to me that I was battling with that when my mind started opening was understanding my childhood, my upbringing, how certain things that I normalized were not normal. And that, and not to get into specifics, but obviously no one has a normal family, right? And your family builds you as you grow up, and how you react to certain things because that's how you were taught. That's the fabric of your makeup, because that's how it is. Like my wife would be like, "Hey,
Mhm.
calm down. Like you don't need to be so vocal, you know?" And I'm like, "I'm not." And I remember that growing up when, like, there were certain like yellings and whatnot. I'm like, "Hey, why are you guys yelling?" "No, we're not yelling. That's how it is. That's how we're talking." I'm like, wow, I guess everyone's deaf in the family. So I'm like, all right. So at home, it was the same thing. My wife would be
It's
like,
hilarious.
"Are you yelling at the kids?" I'm like, "No, I'm just talking to them." And my kids were like, "No, Dad, you're yelling at us." And so when I went on this, there were a lot of self-reflection, self-assessment moments where I'm like, oh my goodness, let me really investigate this. And now there's other avenues of my life that heart palpitations I used to have gone.
Mhm.
My knees would click. You would know that I would be coming down the hallway because my knees were click. My Achilles tendon, I would be limping. I would always be limping. Gone. I went from close to 250 to now I'm almost to my goal. I'm at 184 right now. Still going. My goal is 180. I
Mhm.
did surpass it at one point at 179.5. And I get it, we shouldn't put our faith in a scale, but it's my standard. I always like, just hopping on there first thing in the morning and just logging. I always like logging. Overthinking things that helped me out.
Mhm.
I was one of those where things have gotten a little bit better. I would worry so much. I would have this play in my head, whether it's a coworker, a friend, family member, and it would be exhausting. And my wife would say, "Who the heck were you talking to in the shower?" I'm like, "Nobody." She's like, "I heard a full blown conversation. That's done. I don't have that anymore. I left it at the cross. It's done. I
Mhm.
don't need it. I can't worry about things." I presented a stat last week on Butter Bob's show, who said psychologists saw that 80% of what we worry about doesn't even happen. It doesn't even materialize. So you're just wasting your mind in your life. So those are the kind of things, my stamina, my way of breathing. I was a heavy breather. Um, I couldn't think clearly. And I think that was the biggest thing. Now it's different. It's like I get to live life, and I'm back to that close weight of 180, and it's not the weight. It's so much more than that. There's so much healing that is going on. That's why so many people they ask me, "How long are you going to be on this for?" I got
Yep.
to be honest. I hope it's for life, because all the damage that I've done, it wasn't over a course of a year or two. It was a course of probably 35 plus years that I've been
Mhm.
damaging my body, my mind. So it's going to take some time. So I fully embrace that. I'm already thinking about our Europe trip. All right, you know what? I'm going there for a purpose, and it's not the norm of trying wine or pasta or a baguette. I'm going there to enjoy the architecture, the people, my family, questioning how things were built, as crazy as that might sound, diving into the deeper meanings of life and asking questions to the locals, getting to know them more, getting to learn languages, reading more books, which I love doing nowadays. I was never a reader. Never. My wife is an avid reader. She rips through books like crazy. I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm reading. I'm like, we could watch the movie of the book that you're watching. She's like, it's not the same. And I'm like, no, it's better. You could still read the subtitles if you want. She's like, no, you don't get it. And she was right. When I started reading, it's different. When you're clear-minded, and there's no fog brain, when you're reading, for me, when I read the scriptures, it's so detailed and so vivid when I read. It's out of this world. Those are some of the ailments that I had in the past that I feel that they have been cured through this way of eating.
That's awesome. Wow. And it's like a movie in your mind when you read it and not watch it.
Mhm.
When you watch it, they're putting the movie in your mind. When you read it, it's what you envision the movie is. And you talk about the Bible. So I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm Catholic. So like we weren't trained to read the Bible a lot growing up. We had Bibles and stuff, but the last couple years I haven't quite done the Bible in a year. I try, but I've really gotten into like, I listen to it. Okay. I listen to it so I can do things while I'm listening. But I was listening to the Bible and I'm like, people say it's not relevant anymore. It's not relevant. And I'm like, I'm listening to the Old Testament and I'm like, this is very relevant to what's happening in the world today. It's like, there's a lot of stuff that's happening in the world today that's exactly what happened in the Bible. Like, I don't know. That's just my thought. And so when people say this doesn't apply anymore, I'm like, oh, if you look at what's happening in the world and you look at what happened in the Bible, a lot of it, is the same. That's my opinion, but
I think it's factual.
Yeah,
it's factual. It's absolutely factual.
I do too.
God says, I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. And it's true. God does not change. That's a common denominator. That's the beauty of having that close relationship with Christ, knowing that we're not alone. I think that's one of the big things in life, right? That sometimes, even if someone has everything, but doesn't have that connection, doesn't have anything at all. Because God's the one that supplies. He's the one that gives. He's the one that takes. I have to throw this out. I was raised Christian and I had my ups and downs. I walked away, came back. When I had my kid, the love that I and my wife have, that point, that's when I realized, God made us in his image. That love that he has for us, it can't be measured. And if the love that I have for my daughter can compare, God's love is infinite. How much more is his love to me, to you, to everyone watching? He wants to protect us, but at the same token, just like we are as parents, we want to make sure that our kids are equipped to the challenges of life, because we know that if they could face that challenge and they can evolve from that, they could become a better person. God works the same way. God doesn't deliver you from a storm. He places you right in the middle. And as you're struggling in that storm, you're seeing in the distance someone walking on the waters. And he's telling you, get out of the boat. Take a leap. Because if I can walk on water, so can you, so long as you keep your eyes fixed on me. And that's what I have done. And I don't want to look back. God is God is very important to me. That is not
Me
an
too.
opinion. That is not that's the thing that's so strong for me. You know, the same way how
Mhm.
God made us and Christ fought for the church and all of us, there's a conviction. And I think
Mhm.
this way of eating, this lifestyle guides us and gears us towards fasting. And when you fast, you open yourself to that calling. And the
Yeah.
more you, right? Is that, am I onto
Well,
something there?
okay, so you do fasting, right?
Mhm.
And fasting is biblical, right? And Jerry's in the house. Jerry's the one who does like the 40-day fast over the holidays every year to it's because her mom died of cancer and she fasts over the holidays for her mom for 40 days. And 40 days is a biblical number, right?
Mhm.
40 days and 40 nights, and she fasts. And so fasting is very biblical. But have you noticed? I don't know how long you fasted
Mhm.
before. I've done 48 hours. It's like
That's great.
I'm still a carb, or not a carb. I'm still a food addict, even on carnivore foods, right? So, but here's the thing. Like, you ever notice how clear your mind gets when you fast? Like over past 24 hours, you like, so I feel like maybe the people in the Bible fasted so that they could experience, you know, prayer and
Mhm.
be clear minded for that, because you receive things so much better in your mind when you're not eating. I don't know your thoughts on that, but I've thought about this a lot. Like I feel like I know why people in the Bible fasted for religious reasons, so that they could pray and they could focus on the things that they need to do. And those ketones, the ketones you
Mhm.
get in your brain when you're fasting, like there's been a couple times I haven't been able to sleep because my brain is just so activated from the ketones that it's kept me from going to sleep,
Right.
which isn't a good thing. But I mean, you can understand that there's so much energy firing in your brain. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. I want to do prolonged fast. I do fast kind of inadvertently, you know. So I'll go probably 20 hours a day, and I want to go beyond. The most that I did in my life was 76 hours, but that was
Wow.
before carnivore. And I
Mhm.
feel that I can get to that level of intense spirituality, but I just feel like there's a blockade right now. There's a block, and I'm working at it every single day to be like, all right, I need to break through. I need to break through. And obviously, it's a subjective journey, which I know I'm going to get. And you're 100% right. Biblically, they emphasize fasting. Even Jesus said, he said, and when you fast,
Mhm.
it was more of a commandment than anything else. Fasting purifies, filters out, makes your mind clear, your spirit kind of would like take everything, all the garbage out when you fast. And yes, it's something where you don't rely on food as your life source. You rely on the words of God in order to sustain you.
Mhm.
And that's exactly what Jesus said when he was tempted, 40 days, 40 nights, when Satan said, turn this rock into bread and eat it because I know you're hungry. The tactics of the enemy is always the same. It's always been there's nothing new under the sun. And the rebuttal of Jesus was, man shall not eat by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the word of God. That right there is the answer to everything. If you think about it, we're not here for a long time. We have to make our presence known, of course. But at one point or another, we have to stand in front of God and we can't hide. So at that point, what do we show? To me, it's important to always put God first and also live the example. So I'm carnivore. Should I be preaching to every single one knocking on the door? Hey, you got to eat carnivore. I'm going to turn them away. Same thing as if I knock on their door. Hey, you got to be Christian. I can't. I'm going to push them away. But if I can make them inquisitive, if I could make them, hey, this guy wasn't like this before. What's your secret? Once they give me that open door, I'm breaking through and I'm going to let them know. But in a soft spoken, gentle way, I'm going to unwrap it for them. So then the decision is on them. And I don't want to be too overwhelming, but I want to show to them it's okay. It's okay to question the medical society. It's okay to question the pyramid. It's okay to question, to use your brain in a critical manner of where you can start drawing your own conclusions and say, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. I'm doing everything that the doctor's telling me to do, the nutritionist is telling me to do, and still I'm in this vortex of being unhealthy. Why? And whenever I bring it to the doctor, he's telling me, no, you got to keep doing this. But if it's not working, why are you telling me to take these pills? Don't worry, it's been proven, but I'm not feeling this way. So at what point is the human mind going to say, enough is enough? That's where I drop on my knees and pray. Help me.
Mhm.
I need some enlightenment. And thank God brought me to here, and meeting wonderful individuals like you, Dr. Kiltz in the morning, Mitch, awesome. Like everyone in the chat, like the community itself. What I love is that there's no dogma. Like there's no, it's not a religion. It was our resort to get healthy, to get better, to live life the way God intended, not checking off the boxes of, well, when you get to the age of 30, this is going to happen. When you 40, this is going to happen. 50, this is going to happen. I feel like I'm reversing. I feel we finally realized that Benjamin Button was a real story. We can go back in time. We can go back. You know what I mean? There's no way I feel this good.
When I was your age, I was driving around with a handicap sticker in my car and parking to barely walk. And now I'm having exercise videos, right? I'm doing exercise videos where I'm doing push-ups and sit-ups and walking for 30 minutes on a treadmill. When I was your age, I had a handicap sticker and I could barely get into the grocery store myself. So yes, we are aging backwards for real. I got to say hi. My dad is in the house. Hi, Dad. And my dad just subscribed to you. He's literally, so I bought the house in the neighborhood I grew up in and my parents live next door. And so he's literally like next door. He likes when I do cooking lives though, because then he gets food. So sorry, Dad, we're not cooking tonight, but
awesome.
And then Jen is in the house. Kendra, Consume the Goodness, is in the house. Welcome. My good friend Carrie Jones, another neighbor. She is watching on Facebook. Tammy's in the house. Spankinator is in the house. Cosmic Jester and Lambs. Welcome. So, oh my gosh, sorry, I'm not reading did you see Peter's comment?
That's
you
great.
may have inspired Peter to start reading the Bible. And Peter, correct me if I'm wrong, but you grew up Jewish, right? I think Peter grew up Jewish because I heard him and Mitch talking because, Mitch grew up Jewish. And so you know what, Peter? Just read it. Okay, just open it. Just read it with an open mind. Nobody's forcing you to do anything, but if nothing else, it's a really good book, right? If nothing else, it's a really good book, but just open that first page and read it. Now, I will say this. I have a hard time getting through and this person begets this person and this person begets this person and this person begets this person and this person. I'm like, okay, we're at that part of the Bible where they're talking about the lineage.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's kind of important because you got to figure out when they talk about, who's dad was this person's dad and the lineage, it does kind of get important. But and by the way, are you watching House of David? Have you seen House of David?
So the thing is, I got a little turned off at the
Oh, you
beginning.
did?
Because when he was getting, it was, I think, the first scene, right? When he was getting worried of facing Goliath. When I read scripture, he was upset. He wasn't worried. He was upset that this giant was going to take over Israel, that this giant was saying evil words of the God of Israel. There was that passion about David, and God calls David a man after his own heart. He had his eyes set on annihilating Goliath as young as he was. So when I saw that, where he was, worried, I don't know. I see it as a part of history where we have to take it upon ourselves too, like especially with our old ways of eating and the temptations that we have to have that goal-oriented mindset of, I don't care how big this challenge is. When I pray, I'm not telling God how big my challenges are. I'm telling my challenges how big my God is. So that kind of discipline, that's where I got like a little turned off and whatnot. I'm sure it's a great series. I'm sure it's amazing.
It's a good series. I'm sure some things are not theologically correct, and they do things for entertainment value. Let's just say that, right?
And I hope it does do what it's doing, and it draws people back to God. I think that is the most important thing, regardless of if I agree with it or not. I just hope that the overall message, it brings people close. Just me.
My dad, Amy's cooking for me and bringing me keto dishes. Yeah, I'm cooking for him. I made him taco pie, which taco pie is pretty carnivore.
What is
There's
it?
just cheese. Taco pie is like eggs, heavy whipping cream. I make homemade taco seasoning because the gluten, but you ground some ground beef, you put some taco seasoning in there, line a pan with that, and then you mix eggs and heavy whipping cream and a little garlic, and then you pour that over and some cheese, and you pour that over and bake it in the oven, and it's taco pie. It's better than, like, I've had friends who are sad diet eaters come over and they're like, I'm going to run to Taco Bell. I'm like, don't do that. Let me feed you taco pie. Cause I always keep some in the freezer, right? I always have taco pie in the freezer. It's so good. I don't really eat it anymore because of the seasonings and the heavy whipping cream and the cheese, but I made that for my dad. It's his new favorite meal because dad is going keto for health reasons, and his favorite thing to eat before this was black beans and rice, spicy black beans and rice. He loves it with sausage. I think he had put sausage in it. So I'm like, Dad, no more black beans and rice. No, let's get you some taco pie. And then this weekend I'm gonna make him, I have this chili bake, also not, I mean, it's probably big ketovore, right? Because it's got some spices in it, but he likes my thing that I did with my dad, and I will do this again, but we like to go to like Mexican restaurants and eat Mexican food because we both, nobody in our family likes spicy food. And my dad and I would go to lunch and we would go get, like, even when I was keto, I would get like a bowl with just meat and veggies. So I could probably still do that once in a while, right? And get a little bit, or just get double meat.
Yeah,
but
why not?
He's like, I miss us going out to lunch, and he's like, but I won't be able to get my rice and beans in it anymore. I'm like, no, but I'll teach you how to order it. So, Dad, we got to make a date. I will eat a little bit off my plan one day to go have lunch with you at the Mexican restaurant like we used to. And it's funny, my mom's Italian, right? My dad is Belgian, and my mom's like, I just don't like Mexican food. It's not the same as Italian food, blah, 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 blah. And then she's mad. I love you, Mom, if you're watching, but she's kind of upset because I said no spaghetti. And when I said no spaghetti,
oh my goodness.
there was a mushroom cloud over the neighborhood when I said no spaghetti. Sorry, no
Right.
spaghetti. But I'm like, I make Maria Emmerich's protein noodle lasagna, which again is more ketovore. It's more ketovore, but you just use deli meat for the noodles. And so I'm like, but
smart.
anytime you want, and she doesn't
Sure.
like it. She's like, it's just too much meat. It's just too much meat. So I'm like, anytime you want to eat your spaghetti, I will make a lasagna for Dad and I will bring it over and he can have the protein noodle lasagna, or I'll make him an enchilada lasagna, right?
Right.
Because she has a version of it that's protein noodles and enchilada sauce. I'm like, or I'll make you more taco pie and you can have that. Mom can have her spaghetti, right? Because like you said, your family inside your house, none of them are eating like this, right? Or any of them eating like you eat?
No. So my kids always, come downstairs whenever I'm eating a steak. They're like, hey, can we have some? And I'm like, yeah, sure. No problem. So, I'm feeding them, but I'm starving. Like,
because they're getting bites off of the steak.
and I'm like, no
That's
problem.
hilarious.
I'm like, absolutely. Go ahead. I want them to get the nutrient density of it, so whenever they come downstairs and they want to eat, absolutely. Let's do it.
That's
I want them to-
awesome.
absolutely. So, but the healthiest it's in the household, it's me and my dog. I mean, he's got a 6-pack. I'm working at it. That guy.
Is he carnivore? Is your dog carnivore?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. He does backflips when I come home. He's like, all right.
I bet.
It's on now.
Yeah. You're his favorite. You're his person because you feed him all the good meat.
Everything. No, he's awesome, man. Like I said before, like I wasn't a big dog person. But I love everything. Everything right now. I love what you just said, that bond that you have with your dad, to me, it's special. It's important. That's what I'm building right now with my daughters. And my dad, unfortunately, he passed away about 2 years ago. And
I'm sorry.
It's okay. The thing is, with the relationship I had with him was special, very unorthodox, but his last 14 months, we really bonded and we talked, and he became more docile. He wasn't that strict person. And I understood the human side of him. And I wish I had just one more day with him.
Mhm.
So just hearing you, it made my day. And you're a special individual, Amy. Keep doing what you're doing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, Dad's doing well. He says Amy worries about me. Her mom has her own problems eating salt. I don't even want to go into the salt problems because my mom has her own heart issues and they put her on a no salt diet and she actually got hospitalized for having too little salt, right?
Oh, wow.
She had what is that called? Hyponatremia, which is deadly. So PSA, if your doctors, and this is not medical advice, but this is just something that can happen. If your doctors tell you not to eat salt and something happens, like you catch a flu or COVID or something, and you are losing so much water that all of your electrolytes go out of your body, you can actually die without salt. And it is a very dangerous condition. It's called hyponatremia. I've known 2 people now that have had it, my mom being one of them. And it's very serious. So now guess what her doctors tell you? You can have some salt. You do not have to totally restrict your salt. And I'm like, okay, which was it? Before the hyponatremia, no salt, or now you can have some salt? Because I think they realize you cannot live without salt in your body, right? Now, one of the things I've cured was high blood pressure. When I was like 38, I got diagnosed at 220/110. And my doctor said no salt. So I was like, not salting foods. And food without salt tastes like garbage. Salt makes everything better. Well, now I have normal blood pressure.
Yep.
Imagine that. Normal. And now, oh, watch this. Look at this. Hold on. You're going to laugh at this. So when I get hungry, which is all the time, I have this. So if you ever see me on a live stream and I'm licking this,
What is that?
it's a salt.
I love it.
It's a salt rock. And these are
Nice.
great when you're fasting
Oh,
or if you're hungry.
that's awesome.
If you're hungry. Now, I'm hungry all the time. So like sometimes I just lick salt rocks. And now these were Redmond's and Redmond stopped making them. The only thing I could think of is something happened and someone choked on one and then there was a lawsuit. Because I don't know
Oh.
why they would stop making these rocks. They're fantastic. Like
Where
I
do
still
you
have
get
a couple
them?
bags
What,
left. So
what is it called?
they're salt crystals. They're on Redmond's, but you can't get this kind anymore because they were made by Redmond's. And I don't know. I've been using these for years and they're great. They're great. Like I have one in my purse. And so when I get hungry or when I'm fasting and I just feel like I'm hungry, I lick these rocks and they're great.
That's phenomenal. No, I'm gonna
I-
look into that because I know
I'm
that
sure you can get other brands.
because salt is so important. I believe that is the catalyst mineral that kind of normalizes everything within your system, your blood pressure, everything. And to live without salt, again, I don't. Maybe the chat knows this. Has there been a study of older people that have continued to consume high levels of salt and their life has gotten better as opposed to how the medical industry is telling patients now, lower your salt so your blood pressure can become normal? Like, I feel like we're in that same realm of the whole cholesterol code, right?
Yep.
Don't eat high cholesterol because you're going to die of a heart attack. Don't consume too much salt or you're going to die of a stroke or get a stroke. So it seems that we're checking off the boxes of the nonsense that they're spewing out there. We need salt. And again, sorry to bring it back, but Jesus said,
No.
you are the salt of the earth. You are the salt.
Well, I got to point out Grandma. This is Grandma's Crochet Corner, Barbara, who comes on after us. Just donated $5. Thank you, Grandma. Love you. But okay, to go back to what you were saying. So don't they have salt licks for animals? And animals go up to the salt like deer. Like there's something called a salt lick, and the animals go up and they lick the salt. Why would it? Okay, so there's two things that I always say. Why do animals go up and lick salt? And why do my cats lay in the sun if the sun is so harmful for them? Like the cat will find a tiny little spot of sun in the room and the cat will go lay in the sun. If the sun was so dangerous for them, why are the animals laying in the sun? Because it feels good and they like the sun and it's good for them.
Exactly. 100%.
Same thing with salt. Oh, here we go. Kelly says, Amy and Dan, if you get a chance to go out to a farm, watch cows and horses lick salt. The animals will stay there until they are done or satisfied. Oh, really, Rick? My cats have come up to my rocks and wanted to lick them, and I had to stop them because I don't want their tongues going on something I'm going to stick in my mouth. So the cats have wanted to lick these exact salt rocks. So I beg to differ with you.
Rick, put a little salt on your finger and place it by the cat. The cat is going to lick it
And see
immediately. 100%. And it's true with that, what you said, because I know in Pennsylvania where my brothers have property there, there are a lot of, camps out there with like grills, and in the
Uh-huh.
mid morning, you see all the deers by the grill just licking it all up. Yeah, they're there. Like the grills are super clean. Like you don't even have to scrape it. They do it for you.
So, what are deers? Are they just vegetarian? Like, do they only eat foliage and stuff?
Yeah, that's it. They don't eat. Yeah,
But
They-
they
they don't
maybe
eat-
they're like meat curious if they're licking the grills clean and they're like, I kind of like this meat too. Oh my gosh!
This
You know,
tastes
like
it tastes like Greg. Hmm. Sorry. Oh,
no,
goodness.
that is
Horrendous.
hilarious. Oh my gosh!
Oh,
Yeah, that's why animals lick you too, because your skin is salty. Like
Exact-
your
oh
dogs
my
and cats
goodness.
come up and lick your leg. They're like, why else would your pet come up and lick your leg? They're like,
So true.
mom and dad tastes a little salty. I kind of like it.
That's so true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Oh, this is interesting. Coach Angela says my neighbor's cows come over and lick my well housing. I think they're trying to get the minerals out of the concrete.
Possible. Animals
Yeah,
are so
so
in tune
deers-
with nature.
Well, apparently Dan knows some meat curious deer or salt. It's because it's salty, maybe.
Yeah. That's the only reason why they go to the grill, because it's the remnants of the salt. They don't go there to throw down.
Sometimes my grill doesn't get cleaned all the way, and there's little pieces of meat sticking off of it if I don't clean it appropriately.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, salt licks. I go over that multiple times. I'm like, if animals were not meant to have salt, including human animals, then why do animals, of course, I guess I'm just like, the deer that licks the salt because I have my own salt rock, and I will be sad when I get to the last of the rock. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to research some other salt rock, and because seriously, so I've been taking a lot of heat too. So let me ask you this question, because I'm actually taking berberine right now.
Yeah.
Because I've taken it in the past, mostly to help boost my HDL so that my doctor gets off my back. So on my cholesterol, but now my HDL is like 98. My HDL is like 98. My triglycerides are like 48, and my LDL is 201. Right, which I go to the doctor this week, so I'll be curious to see what he says. But I'm taking berberine for a different reason, because berberine helps with. I can put down a lot of food. I should probably do some sort of food challenge with somebody, not on like an eating contest, because I think I can out-eat you. I really think I can out-eat Rick.
Wow.
We need to do a food challenge where I just we put a bunch of food on a plate and see who can eat it. Because I don't know. I might come close to beating some people. But I'm telling you, I went to Fogo de Chao in California when we were on vacation, and I was with the guys, and the guys flipped their cards over before me.
Wow. I love going to
So, yeah. So I'm like, that's what makes me think I might be able to win an eating contest. But so I'm kind of taking, because I've been gaining weight even on carnivore, which don't everybody freak out. Bella talks, she did that. Kelly, I think, gained some weight when she went from keto to carnivore. Carnivore Lance said that he gained, it took him 18 months. He gained some weight in carnivore, and it took him 18 months. Well, I'm at 10 months. So, I'm trusting the process because I feel so much better. My brain feels so much better. So my pants are a little tighter. Who cares? Right. It's not really about body to me, right? I like to be thin, but it's not about the scale. So the berberine for me right now, though, is even on carnivore, I'm hungry all the time. And as you know, even though I don't have carb cravings, I have food cravings. And even on carnivore, I'm like, when can I have some more bacon? When can I have some butter when like I'm always still thinking about food because my body is so hungry. So the berberine is helping me not think about even carnivore food all the time. There's something going on with me. I think it's hormonal and it's not something I can help. But the berberine is just taking the edge off of that for me. Now, a lot of people are like, you shouldn't have to take supplements on carnivore. Yeah, I agree. I shouldn't have to take supplements on carnivore, but I think this will be a temporary thing. I think it's temporary while my body's healing. But for right now, it's kind of a solution for me is to take berberine. And there's lots of people. Laura Russell, I don't know if you know who she is. She's amazing. I love her. When I grow up, I want to be just like her.
Mhm.
She takes berberine and she's a nurse. There's a few people out there that do it. So I'm hoping it's a temporary thing and I don't have to do it forever, but it is helping me like not be hungry all the time. Now, the bad thing about berberine though is it's like the natural metformin and it can cause digestive issues. So sometimes I don't take it if I'm going to be busy all day. It's like,
Oh, I see.
if I know I'm not going to be near a bathroom, I don't take the berberine. So if anybody's out there thinking about taking it, just note it can cause, it's like kind of like when you eat too much fat, like butter
Right.
rendered, it's those kind of issues. But yeah, like this morning I had church. So I didn't take the berberine before church. I waited till I got home and then I took it. So I kind of take it strategically. And my dad says Texas Salt Company has, I'll have to look into that, Dad, Salt Rocks. 1 pound Himalayan pink salt rocks for $8. Well, okay, so let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. There's been a lot of controversy about this salt and that salt and what's the best salt and lead in salt and all this stuff. What are your thoughts on that? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think it's an overkill. I think
do
it's
too.
I think it's subjective to the person. So let's take Redmond's for example. It's you know, it's getting demonized, right? Oh, don't take this because when I consume Redmond's, right, I feel good, normal. Now, if I take Redmond's and I feel like poop, then my body's saying, don't eat Redmond's. But to objectively have this notion of Redmond's is bad, don't eat it, it's horrendous. Just like with you with the berberine, right? It's working for you.
Yeah.
You're realizing certain things may work for you and it might not work for someone else, but it's still you're still on that right path. You're doing the correct things in order to better yourself, and you found something that can help. And I think that's the thing when we begin to police certain things, then we're going into that dogma zone, and we have to be very careful because instead of continuing a tight-knit community, we could be easily alienating people away. And like, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. Like, we're all adults. In order to even go into the lion diet or the carnivore way of living, we all had to do our own due diligence. We had to understand. I'm sure everyone in the chat knows who Michaela Peterson is. She has gone through so much. And she did the lion diet because she had to do something called an elimination diet. She had to pinpoint exactly what her triggers were. And I speak on my own experience. I can't have blueberries. It's a trigger. I can't have vegetables. It's a trigger. It's a carb. My body has no idea when I eat lettuce or a tomato or a cucumber, my body processes it as a carbohydrate, and all of a sudden it's just small. It's a small glucose spike, and my blood is like, we're back. We're back, and now bring on the cookies. So, like, I'll never be one of those where I start demonizing the vegetarians, or because everyone's different. Whatever route they want to go that works for them and helps them reach that secondary, third third level of peace, of knowing who they are, God bless, you know. But I know with me, Redmond's doesn't hurt me. There are salts that do. And I've noticed
Really?
this. Yep. When I go to
Really?
Fogo de Chao, right? When I go there and I have the table salt one, I don't feel good. I just like a good 2 hours afterwards, I don't feel good. So what I've been doing is I've been asking for them to bring the rock salts that they put on the steaks from the back. Now,
Mhm.
granted, they're pellets. They're big. So I throw it right over it. And I'll start crunching away or whatnot, or I'll just smash them and break it
Uh-huh.
up. Because the salt that they have in the shakers is not the same ones that they have in the back. It's not sea salt.
Yeah.
It's your iodine. What is it? Iodized salt. The Morton
Iodized
salt.
table salt. Yep. It's
That
the
one.
Morton's probably.
That does not go well with me. I do use that salt though when I clean my cast iron grill. That's it.
Yeah, I've heard that.
But I won't
Yep.
consume it because I feel it. The other thing is sometimes a lot of these places, like I don't eat out that much. And the few times that I go out and eat, I'll go to, a steakhouse, like, the Brazilian one. But I used to work in a restaurant as well. My brothers and I, we used to own a pizzeria in Queens and New York. But I also worked in other places too. A friend of mine also had a French restaurant in the city. And he said, business was always good. And I'm like, the food is great. He's like, yeah, it's not really the food. I'm like, what is it? He's like, it's the MSG. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. He's like, yeah, if you put MSG on soil, you'll have half of your backyard missing. It's that highly, it's not even that it's
Addictive.
It's not even that it's addictive. It raises the flavor of the food that much more. So it's like salt on steroids. So MSG, it's the monosodium glutamate.
Yep.
It's something that we've all had Chinese food. It's in there. It's to the point where when you're done eating your General Tso's chicken and you're just
Oh, I miss General Tso's. I will
but
say
you're
that.
you're deflated and you're done and you're like waving the white flag. But then after 15 minutes, you're going back.
You're hungry again. Yeah. Well,
Going back.
why do I get so hungry after eating Chinese food? I'm like, this stuff doesn't even fill me up.
It's the MSG. I wouldn't be surprised in many places that they mix it with the salt because you have no idea what that it's merged in there. So that we have to be very careful. That's why, alluding to what you said before, like it's so easy to cook at home. I cook at home. I
Me
get
too.
home, I'll make some eggs, some bacon, some heart attack chicken, Rick's favorite, and that's good for me. And it's crazy because there's no guilt. I got to be honest. Sometimes my interpretation of pigging out now is so different than, utilizing that term like 3 years ago. Pigging
Uh-huh.
out is just eating some chicken thighs with the skin on, a little salt, eating maybe 2 or 3 of them and having some seltzers, and that's it.
Mhm.
And yes, Rick, I agree. Now I find it extremely disgusting.
It is.
Now I can't even look at it anymore. Rick is so ahead of our time.
Okay, we need to say prayers. Everybody say a prayer for Jeff. Jeezy from Carnivore Talk. I think he had a medical issues and in the hospital. And then Juliet's daughter's having a medical issue. So everyone say a prayer for her. I told her I would spread the word. She asked me to. She said it was okay to tell everybody. Kelly, that is why I carry my own salt when I go out to eat. I've had purse butter and purse salt. I've had purse bacon. I mean, the whole time I've been keto, I've had purse food. We have our friends own a bar and we would go there and there's not anything on their menu. They're a pizza joint. And so they don't care that I bring my own food in because they know there's nothing there that I can eat. So the back when I was keto, I've had nuts in my purse. I'd have bacon and cheese in my purse, and I would just sit there at the bar and I would just like eat the stuff. And they're like, "Did you just eat something out of your purse?" And I'm like, I do this all the time,
Yep.
like for real. Like even still, like I've taken bacon in my purse, or you know,
That's so funny.
I
you
mean,
say
okay.
that.
Yeah, I do it all the time, and I've been doing this for 8 years, so it's not like to me it's normal. But when people they're shocked, they're like, "That lady just ate something out of her purse," like, and it wasn't like candy or anything.
So when I went to DR, right, it was for my father-in-law's 70th, and we all went. My brother-in-law went, had a blast. We go to dinner, and we go to like again, the only place that I can go is like a steak spot. So we go there, and they're bringing out food and whatnot. And my brother-in-law is eating, and he looks at me. He's like, "Did you just sprinkle sand out of your pocket on the steak?" I'm like, "No, it's not sand. It's salt. I brought my Redmonds, so I would dig deep into and I would grab like this." And I'm like, "Do you want some?" And he's like, "No." I'm like, "Because I have pepper in the other one if you want." And the guy's like, "No, are you kidding me?" I'm like, "No, I don't have pepper. I have more salt in the other."
It might have lint in it. He doesn't want your pocket salt.
But it was hysterical because it made everyone
Oh.
laugh. It broke the ice. It was so hysterical. But I didn't have a salt shaker. I was like, all right, I would just put it in my pocket, and I would just that's it.
So the funny thing about this is like my husband has been keto. Now he's carnivore too. He doesn't even know what that means. He doesn't know he's carnivore. He just is. And because I cook, right? So he's gonna eat what I cook and he don't care. But we would be at the bar and he would start digging in my purse and eating out of it. So like everyone would be like, what is happening here? Like, why is he eating out of this lady's purse? You know, like because he'd be like, oh, there's food in there. And so he started eating, and then we would have an argument. I'm like, you're not stealing my food, are you? Like, you know, because I only packed enough for me.
Oh, that's hysterical.
So it's but it's not, that's not the only place. Like, oh my gosh, my airport purse. My airport purse is big enough to fit underneath the seat in front of me, but usually my flight when I travel purse, you could fit a lot of food in there. I'm just saying. There's like this whole procedure when it could fit my iPad, my iPhone, like a backup battery for all my electronics, and then like half of the refrigerator. Like, man, I need to just do a video on travel like suggestions. We're getting ready to go to Vegas for a wedding, and I'm sure there's going to be tons of food in there.
Oh, you're going to isn't Dr. Berry, he did a video where he went to that huge buffet that they have there. Have you ever gone to Vegas?
Oh yeah. My sister lives 80 miles north of Vegas, and my nephew is a fighter pilot there.
Oh, perfect.
So he's getting married, but there's tons of buffets there. Which one? Like
the big
every
one,
casino has
not not the Taj. That's here in Jersey.
Caesars has a good buffet. We used to go to Harrah's, but Harrah's got rid of their buffet during COVID. A lot of places got rid of their buffets during COVID, but Caesar still has a good buffet.
No. The Mirage. Which one? There's the big one with the waterfalls.
That's Mirage, and they tore it down.
One.
Mirage is gone.
Oh, wait a minute. So it's not that one then. You have to watch the one that Dr. Berg went to about probably 2 months ago, and he goes through everything.
Oh, the Bellagio. The Bellagio.
Yeah, that one. Bellagio. Lewis just said it. Yeah. It's my New York paisan.
Ooh. Okay, so you live near New York City then?
Oh yeah. I was born in Brooklyn, raised in Queens, always a city person, no matter what. But then, I had my first kid, and we're like, we got to move out east. So right now I'm on Long Island. So, because it's more family oriented. you know? So,
Yes.
but yeah,
I asked because I'm pretty familiar with New York because I've sung at Carnegie Hall twice with my choral groups. So I've traveled to New York City. So, and my husband went with me, and we kind of, the funny thing about New York City is New York City is what caused my foot surgery, because like I live in Mishawaka, Indiana, right? Northern Indiana. A city block here, like, is nothing like a New York City block. So the first
No.
night I was there, I'm pretty sure I walked all the way from the Fabric District down to the Flatiron Building because I wanted to see the Flatiron Building. Really, I think I walked 20 miles, and I was like 300 pounds the first time I went to New York City, and I didn't break my foot, but I mean, I broke my foot. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I stepped off a curb. And the funny thing about New York City that really got me, you even get next to the curb and it's like, people are honking at me. I'm like, dude, I didn't do anything. Like they honk at you if you're 5 foot from the curb. Like it's just crazy. Like I could never drive there. I don't even like driving Chicago. I'm like an hour and a half south of Chicago. And I get like, I will say I still get anxiety from that.
No, there's no manners here. There's no.
Can you drive in New York? Can you drive like all over can you do that? Can you drive in New York City?
Yeah. That's second nature for me. Like when I used to have property in Pennsylvania, I didn't see the stop sign, so I passed through it. There was another car coming, and we both kind of hit the brakes. We didn't crash. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you're dead wrong, right? Because you blew past the stop sign. So whatever this person's going to tell you, he is going to tell you off, and you're going to deserve it, and you're going to eat it. So I look at that person, and I'm like this. I'm like, oh my goodness. And the person's like, oh, you're not from here? Welcome. No worries. It's okay. Welcome to Pennsylvania. It's okay. No one ever sees that stop sign. It's okay. No worries. Welcome aboard. Let me know if you need anything. I'm around that corner over here. And I'm like, I'm on Mars.
Because if that would have happened in New York City, there would have been expletive and then like a few choice words and then like, get out of here.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I've been in New York City. The other thing about New York City that is interesting, there was a trash problem when I went. And I don't know if there's always a trash problem, but like, so we would walk down a street on the weekend and you would smell like this most amazing restaurant.
Yep.
And then you would smell poop.
Yep.
How could you go from your stomach growling to I'm going to vomit in like 2 seconds? Like, it was the weirdest thing. It was like, man, it smells so good. And then, like, I don't know if it was like, it was weird. Like, I can't describe it. And then
that's a typical Thursday night on West 4th in the city. That's typical. It's normal.
It's like good smell, bad smell, good smell, bad smell. I'm like, this is like, I've never experienced anything like this before. And then also when you're staying in a hotel, not far from, the action, it's just noise all night long, just noise all night long. And it's like, you have to take earplugs if you're going to visit and stay there.
That's another reason why I had to leave the city. I like my serene, quiet lifestyle here. You might have some people that move out here and blast music, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't stand this. But very few people do that here. So long as it doesn't go to like 1 o'clock in the morning, like I have no tolerance with that. Like everyone can have their parties, whatever. I have mine here, but just to be mindful of everyone's privacy, and I'm cool with that. And New York will never change, never. And I love New York. I love Queens. I love Brooklyn. I love my roots, but I had to change for the better, and I had to leave.
Okay, so one question, because I've been on Times Square, not on New Year's Eve. And okay, so here's the other thing. When I went, I was still eating sad food, and my husband and I went and got beers, which was a big mistake. We got beers at Applebee's in Times Square. But it's like, there's no bathrooms. There's no bathrooms in Times Square. Like the Walgreens or the Dwayne Reed or whatever you call it. There's no bathrooms. And I'm like, dude, at the time I was in my 40s, I'm like, I have a 40-year-old bladder. I gotta pee if I'm going to drink a beer. And so the only place to go to the bathroom is McDonald's. Is that on 42nd Street or 44th Street or something? And so it's kind of interesting. I'll just say that. So you go in there, and my husband's like, I'm like 5'10". I'm like your height, and my husband's like 6'3" and is a linebacker. Like he did play football. He's huge, and he's like, some dude followed you in the bathroom, and I'm like, some guy followed me into the women's bathroom, and you just let him? What if he murdered me in there? You know, this is New York. And he's like, I was terrified. I'm like, but you let a guy follow me in the. I'm like, okay, whatever. I could have gotten robbed or whatever.
Oh my
And so
goodness.
I gotta know, what do the people do in time? I gotta know this. You gotta tell me what people do on New Year's Eve in Times Square when there's no bathrooms. Are there porta-johns? Do they wear diapers and pee themselves? What do they do?
That's what they do.
Diapers and pee themselves.
That's what they do.
Like, I'm never going to New York City for Times Square because
I never
no
did
way.
it. The only thing that I ever came close to that was before I got married, when I was in college. My date at the time, we went to the Christmas tree lighting, right? And it was a Wednesday and whatnot, and it was just a conglomerate amount of individuals from everywhere, and we're watching some piano guy. You couldn't leave. If you left, that's it. You can't go in. And I had to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, I could care less about Josh Groban. Like, he's not doing it for me. The light's going to go on and whatnot. And I just had to hold it. I had to hold it. And then I finally went. But normally they do that. They wear diapers.
I had to know. I'm like, there's no way.
Gross.
Because I can't imagine with the security and everything down there that unless they put porta-johns and down there.
No.
But
there's a Depends shortage during those times of the year.
I'm like, they either wear Depends or because you don't want to lose your spot.
No.
Because if you get a good spot next to where the performances are, why would you leave to go to the porta-john and not be able to get back? There's just too many people. So I think this stuff through, right? Like, I think of weird stuff like this. Like, right. I gotta know.
Yeah.
So since you're from the area, so I mean, okay, there you have it. The burning question. I ask this question every year when I'm watching it on TV. I'm like, where do they go to the bathroom? Like, there's no. Apparently they just go to the bathroom. Okay, Leanne is saying my link isn't working for the free consultation. So Leanne, what I'm going to suggest you do is you email me at ketorockstars21@gmail.com. If you want a free consultation, send me an email there and I'll get you the link and I'll fix that for next time. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we've been on for 2 hours. Holy cow. We got to do this again.
We have to.
We got to do this again.
Love the chemistry.
Final thoughts. I know. So final thoughts, like impart some amazing advice on both of we've had like over 60 people watching this. So that's fantastic. So
love it.
Impart some words of wisdom to people out there struggling, inspiration.
I think honestly, if you're struggling with food addictions and food disorders, don't let depression hit you in a whirlpool where you just spiral down where you feel that there's no hope.
Mm.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel. There's light. And only you could extinguish that light. But don't do that. Continue looking at certain avenues to help you and to become a better person. Before you know it, that light gets larger. And once you cross through it, you become a more intellectual individual, a person with more wisdom, a person with more discernment. The struggle that you're going through right now, you need to go through it. You have to. There's a purpose for this. You might not understand now. You might not be asking the right questions now, but just continue putting one foot in front of the other. It'll all make sense once it all said and done. So God bless everyone.
That's awesome. And I'll add to that with my words of wisdom. You can't control what other people do, but you can control how you react to them. So, if someone is doing something that upsets you, then you can't control their actions, but you can control how you react to their reactions. So, oh my gosh, we got to do this again. This was an amazing interview. We talked about A to Z.
Yep.
Everything from carnivore to the Bible to religion to depends on New Year's Eve.
I love it.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for coming on. I normally do this like curtain roll where everybody's names scroll up there, but it's broken tonight. So we're not going to do that. Sorry guys. I don't have the exit music for you tonight. But I want to wish everybody tune in to Grandma's Crochet Corner. She's going live now. And also don't forget to subscribe to Dan's channel. I pinned it on my channel, Lions Danivore Podcast, but I pinned it at the top and it's also in the show notes. So please take a few minutes. Let's give him some love. He is, I think, under 200 subscribers. We want to get him to 500. We want to get him to 500 so that people can super chat him and do memberships and all that love. So let's go do that. And I'm so glad that we met, Dan. And we will talk to you soon. Have a great night, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.